good to go here on centre court. Away we go, semi-final number 2. Place in the gold medal match here in Vienna is up for grabs at this last Elite 16 event before the Paris Olympic Games. And rather appropriately, in the blue, we've got the Olympic champions. And a great start by Christian Sorum, although that wasn't so special. So first point on the board does go to Germany. Anders Molden and Christian Sorum of Norway off against the German pair of Niels Ehlers and Clemens Wickler, who have to be right at the top of their serving game in this one. Wickler then to open Germany's account from the baseline. It's a good start. And it's a nice piece of work in the pocket on the first sharp angle from Sorum. And how's that for a start, Denise Austin? Brilliant from Germany.
Brilliant, as you would expect. Sorum coming out with a hard hit, looking to pin Wickler, but Wickler just matched him up. There wasn't, it may be a little bit lower on the set. Sorum couldn't get the heat he was looking for, but the transitional play from Wickler, the vision.
The fizzing jump serve over the tape this time, but Germany, Denise, are going to have to go hard at the serves. They're going to have to take a few risks.
Yeah, when you come off after a game against the Vikings, if you haven't made errors, then you haven't been experimenting at the extremes of your game.
Now, it doesn't always start with the big topspin jump serve, but I'm pretty sure we'll see it from Moll at some stage. Instead, just floats it onto Ehlers. They're just going to see if the big German is in some sort of side-out shape here, and he's missed his first one.
I was studying the movement of Christian Sorum, and he stood on the right side of Anders' shoulder, and then he pops out to the left. But the fact that he's been able to retract his platform and leave that with millimetres, that is good defence from Sorum.
Well, it's a nice match-up. That'll be one of the big things in this game. Ehlers versus Moll.
And I think Ehlers has got to play to his advantage. We look at the height here. He's hitting, I mean, he's hitting around Anders, but he's hitting so high. And that is his advantage. Go off the hands. Don't get sucked into trying to outgun. Because if you go too hard at Anders, he'll just see that momentum. He'll do those little windscreen wiper moves. He'll just clamp you out really quickly.
Back-to-back service errors from Germany. That just gives the ball straight back to Norway to apply the pressure. Sorum just drops one short on Ehlers. Tries to take the big man's run up away, but when you're nearly 7 feet tall, there's a few angles exist that us mere mortals can't access.
But what has been so lovely is look at this side set here from Wickler. Just concentrates on a good high release, keeps a nice tempo because Wickler hasn't got the time to get a big runway. Just affords every opportunity, and this is why Ehlers has now been able to side out so effectively. They bash it back to Clemens.
3 serve errors from Germany, so you can see the intention is there. It's just not the delivery at the moment from the German pair.
I mean, it's totally fine when your side-out game is there, if you're making the service errors. It doesn't matter. It's when you're down and you're struggling to get back in that you need them to be playing.
Here comes the jump serve. Second time of asking, but it was a fake. Just rolled gently over the net and sets up an opportunity, and Moll is into his work against Ehlers.
And if we look on this replay here, it's going into the angle that was open to him, that he felt like nobody was going to be there. You could see Sorum closing in, and as does Anders, just takes out something that he felt was wide open. Just got to keep your eyes as much as possible on where the space is.
And after getting the block on Ehlers, drops it down the middle, and Wickler takes it and takes a fine angle to the sand. So Germany just keeping that scoreboard moving.
This is good though from Ehlers, taking out position in the fact he's not quite as ready to set, but then there he goes, lovely hand set. To put the ball away so effectively, you've got to go back to the setter. How good was it?
Nice work. It's a block for Germany's big man.
There's just a little stall from Sorum, looking at takes a longer look. He's a little bit more out of position. Ehlers just keeping his eye on Sorum's momentum, and that isn't easy to do because he's got so many tricks in his back pocket.
And And then opens up for the bigger serve again. Are they going to ask for a challenge here? He's going to have a good look at the ball mark, but decided not to ask Carlos Rivera to come down from the stand. 6-all. Germany not doing a huge amount right here, but it's good on the scoreboard for them. That was close. That's massive. That's just massive.
And I was interested to see, because he's in a very similar position where he got stuff blocked, but this time with a little bit of hand wrapping late to the ball doesn't allow Anders to get as involved because he's less predictable. It was a high set, it was hard to figure out where he was going.
Jump float, Wickler feeling he had to put a serve in there, but the block is negotiated pretty easily by Sorum, and the two service targets at the moment, about 50-50 on their work.
It's a high-risk strategy, but one that I love from Germany while their side out is going, is not actually allowing Norway to play by going really extremes for the serve. That one took a pace off. You get Sorum almost into a groove with his side out.
7-all, second side switch in this magnificent Red Bull Beach Arena. Not a huge advantage from one end to the next, so the players just straight back into their work, and another fine kill from Ehlers.
He's doing a really good job of eventually forcing Norway to rethink where are they going. He doesn't look like he's the taking at the moment.
And still, the policy of going after everything, but it's not in enough at the moment from the service line to really test Norway. However, as Denise Austin said, if you're siding out just fine, you can keep going for your serves. Nice. Serve down that seam, and that's the confidence that Ehlers has at the moment. He was fine stepping in to take that ball.
What I love is the strong swing has gone. He hasn't got the approach. It's tight on the net. Anders is up. He's forced, but staying clever, just a little pokey, not getting caught up into an outgun game.
Great turn. Oh, what a reaction from Moll. That's stunning. That's stunning from Norway, and it's a shame because Ehlers produced a brilliant defensive touch.
Oh, it's so hard for Ehlers here. He just did a brilliant up, but this pokey from Anders, the underhand defensive pokey. I love a good pokey. One of my favourite defensive moves of the tournament so far.
Back to the jump serve for Moll. Still hasn't hit one really hard. That's the first time he's opened his shoulders, and it's gone long.
That feeling of when they get their serves dialed in, they might start actually dismantling each other. Depends who goes first.
And he goes to virtually the same shot, Sorum, but this time round the block to get it down sharper, and Ehlers stranded.
The length of time, and I know it only looks a little bit on the replay, but the length of the time that Richard Sorum has that it takes a look at you must be almost cements you to the floor.
This is nice. This is really nice from Niels Ehlers, and Norway are going to have to go much harder at him with the serve to get any joy out of that.
Continually impressed how the improvement of Niels over the course of the last 2 years. He definitely struggled with his side out because there was so much pressure upon him, and he had moments where he would just disappear, couldn't get a pass, you know, it was out, it was a bit zigzaggy, definitely under a lot of pressure, but right now so calm. And I think as well they're enjoying their game. We talk about the momentum and the relationship between players. In the beginning, Clemens definitely held his heart on his sleeve and was a bit frustrated with the lack of perceived performance, even though Ehlers was bringing out some great play. But now they just he seems to be more relaxed, he seems happier. And Clemens Wickler is a brilliant setter, so the rhythm that he's giving, they're playing to their strengths.
The purist's points worm. It's a great side-out battle.
But it is a war of attrition, and I think Norway are making Niels play, whereas the other way, there's been a lot of service errors, so the actual fatigue that's creeping into Ehlers' game might not be creeping into Norway's game, because they haven't actually had to do that much to get their points.
Michał Bryl and Bartosz Wosiak of Poland await the winners of this match in the gold medal final. That'll be coming up later this afternoon. Oh, cheeky serve. Power traded for a bit of finesse.
Oh, I do love that. Going into, ends up almost in Sorum's service receive, but it comes enough across Anders that he twitched and kept Christian out.
Back to Sorum. And back to that angle. I just love the way he dials through his set of shots, and it's brilliant again.
Yeah, it's a proper little Swiss Army knife. I've used that tool, I've used this tool. Which one? Oh, I haven't got that one. This one next. You know, mentally, you can see him going through.
At last, Moll puts a big serve in, and Ehlers shows the other side to the German game, and it's a side to their game that could produce a medal in Paris.
Brilliant. Anders is serving, get ready for the on-2, and he just goes straight after it. Hasn't done that all tournament, all set, all the warm, in all the previous points, but bring it out of the bag immediately. Love that. Good thinking.
Lovely. What a fantastic hold from Sorum before still managing to apply some power.
And I think even though he's been shown the line, he knows that Wickler is going to be coming there. That's when he brings out the really fast dart instead of like an up and an over or a little pokey that maybe Ehlers could have got under. And that is his ability to just really adapt to what is defensively in front of him.
Back to Ehlers from Norway. He goes as high as he can reach, which is what he has to do to get over the towering block of Moll.
Really good thinking going on by the German blocker. Just very clever. It's not like an out power. He can hit it hard for sure, but he's thinking hard, not getting sucked into any of the defensive schemes that Norway are going to try and set up against him.
Huge. Huge from Moll, and that's the side of his game that has really come to the fore here in Vienna.
I mean, what's it like? You go and test the other person because Sorum's been siding out so well, and then you get that come at you. You just think, why did he even think that that might be the answer?
I love that look from Ehlers after he hit it. He went through the net at Moll. Good touch. Here's the chance to break back. Not taken. Wickler can keep Germany ahead. He's done it. He's done it. And there we go. Clemens Wickler this week has fallen back into that support role that he's been playing for so long. He was exposed a touch in Start when teams went after him, but here in Vienna he's been marvellous at filling in the blanks.
And he got a little bit lucky in the fact that Sorum didn't have the best of transitional plays, so he got it second time of asking, but I think the switch has been flipped to go after Wickler. It'd be interesting to see where Norway go. They've obviously got a side out, but expect it going his way more.
Great serve. Oh, what a great serve. As soon as he hit that one, you knew Sorum was in trouble.
And that's what they've been looking for, that extra added value pressure. And that's why you go after it. That's why you keep throwing up and you keep dialing it in. He's brought it in, made it a little bit easy, and then he's gone back and ramped it up again. Here's Ehlers stepping up.
What I loved about that serve, Denise, there was no element of cut to the line. He just stood on the line and hit hard at the line. Very tough serve to pull off. And a very, very good passer to beat. Here's Ehlers turning it on. And Norway are forced into a timeout. Bit of que sera on the way. They do it very well here in Vienna.
That last serve tells you exactly why. When you're setting yourself up to service receive, the cross-court player has to take the largest share of the court because they've got potentially more time to read, because that speed of that line serve when it's deployed like that, you just need the slitherest of spaces to take up, and Ehlers taking on Sorum mightily fine.
Scoreboard will catch up momentarily. Germany are in a much better position than that. 16-13 up. Now, does he go for it again, or does he try and attack that middle? Here we go. He does try and go for the middle, clips the net, wanders over to Moll, and Moll batters it past him. What a shot.
Well, the timeout did what it was needed for Norway, but Germany have put the pressure on, and Norway now have to find some service pressure of their own. They haven't looked at breaking either of the defenders, either of the German reception down. Clemens Wickler was dug last time. Do they go there?
Just double checking that blocking call, Moll. They decide to stick on Ehlers for the moment. It's a good reach. It's a good reach from Anders Moll, but he's just struggling to get high enough to stop Ehlers in this sort of form.
I'm loving the thing. I keep going back to it, but Ehlers thinking he's not getting greedy. He's hitting high, and that's what you've got to be careful about, because you know if you go hard and a little bit too close to the net, that's what Anders will kick in.
Very handy three-point cushion for Germany. And another cracking serve. And Christian Sorum's serve-receive game is being tested to the max by Germany now.
And I love this. This is exactly what you want from a partner that's not been served. Go to the baseline and go and keep that shoulder loose.
Oh, proper heat from Wickler. That's crazy. That is just an enormous hit from the baseline, and Wickler piling the pressure on. Germany are comfortable at the moment.
I think he's out for the fastest serve of the day that they've been announcing here in Vienna, and that's got to be near it, surely.
Anouk Verger-de-Pré won it yesterday with a serve in the women's final.
I think it is easy when you're in the lead to get even more points on the back. So good for Germany, just going with the flow when they're in high confidence, going after those serves. So they just got to get themselves to this first set finish line and keep building with that service pressure.
Well, Norway not going big from the service line, opting to stick with the process. Moll has shoved that a long way out, and Germany end up with 5 set points. Well, the things that didn't quite click that we knew Germany had to do early in the first set weren't there, but the side out was. That kept them in the competition, and now everything is clicking. Another heavy serve. Option swing just finds its way down the front of Niels Ehlers' block, but Germany in the luxury position of having 4 points in the kit bag to play with. Fortunate for Moll, and he knows it. Sorum will serve. One side out does it for Germany. Wickler passes a little shakily away from the net, but gets enough heat on that one to go off Moll's block for the points and the first set. 21-16. Germany have engineered a fine opener there, and they lead by 7-0 in Vienna.
You've got to take your hats off to the coaching staff and all the backroom staff that have done all their homework ahead of this moment for Ehlers and Wickler. Thomas Kaczmarek, the head coach of the programme, he would have been working really hard with all the other coaches as well. So what are we going to do? What are we going to bring to the table? What haven't we done before? And the service pressure, it wasn't there, but they just believed in their ability to bring that about, and we saw it from Clemens Wickler. Those 2 serves at that last tail end of this set was everything that you need to know about how are you going to beat the Norwegians. You can't beat them by out giving it to them easily. You've got to dismantle the pass, and that's exactly what they did.
In Doha at the start of the season for Moll and Sorum, then there was that frustrating and very worrying injury to the foot of Anders Moll. Long recovery, back for Ostrava, where they managed a 4th place, then 3rd in start. And still no victory for the Norwegians, but signs of a definite comeback are there. We know what Norway will try and do in this second set. We know how they'll try and control things, but if Germany can stay on the front foot and keep doing the things that they are doing, it's going to be very difficult for the Beach Volley Vikings to achieve that.
Team Norway! Let's go!
Away we go then with set 2 here in Vienna. In the white, Niels Ehlers and Clemens Wickler had a stunning first set against the Olympic champions from Norway, Anders Moll and Christian Sorum. Denise Austin, our volleyball world expert analyst, your thoughts on where we go from here?
I want to go to a third set, Simon. You know me, I just want to see Norway pick themselves up because I'm an absolute fan, you know, like many people around the world that are tuning in, and they want to see more beach volleyball, and they don't want to see Norway completely dismantled, although they'd like to see it happen every now and again just to keep it interesting.
Well, having dominated the men's draw for so many years, it's a different demand for Norway heading towards Paris. I'm not going to say you never want to be injured, Denise, but I'm not sure that it was a bad thing that they took a little bit of time away from the sport to recover. I think they look really charged up again.
Yeah, they certainly do. Christian Sorum especially, he's got a huge amount of pressure. You can see he had the tape on the shoulder. Kari Moll definitely said it was good for them to be able to just work on their physicality and just take a step back, because there is a huge big spotlight on them. And don't forget, the young Swedes heading into their first Olympics, if the spotlight's on somebody else, then it's not such a big thing because you've got more time for your own team and you can gather your strengths.
Huge effort required here from Moll and Sorum. And Germany get themselves out of a bit of a spot there to level the score.
And I've loved that back flip and the back play from Anders Moll, but I think teams have now figured it out when he's going over, and Clemens Wickler was just waiting for it. So going to have to find another answer when he hasn't got sight, when it's sight unseen as to how he's going to attack. And yeah, Moll not dialed in, but that doesn't mean anything at all for this Norwegian team. Completely can change it around.
Finish from Sorum again, trusting himself to beat Wickler, who was camped out on the angle.
It's that inability to see the tell that Sorum has so well. Doesn't give much away.
Norway have made a decision here. They're going to try and keep Niels Ehlers out of the game, but Niels determined to stay in it.
Loving this release from Wickler as well, probably based on the performance last week in Stad, where they've gone after him. They brought this about this second board option, and Ehlers is just taking it.
So important, Germany do not back off on those serves. And it's paid dividends again. It's only marginal, it's only subtle, but it's enough of an out-of-system play to give Ehlers a chance.
And this is where, as a fan of the Norwegians, sometimes when they get caught in this small little zone here, and Sorum hasn't got the runway he's looking for, but Ehlers can be disciplined, he can wait. Just, you know, when Sorum's in system, he's running at you just like you're mesmerized. But there's times when you've done enough to force them into a little corner. Don't go too early. Just wait for them to show you something.
First side switch of this second set. Serve error follows from Niels Ehlers, and it's a very similar feel to the opening set at the moment. Can Moll impose his jump serve on the game? Nearly. It's a good reuse from Germany. And a really clever block from Moll. Germany not letting them have anything for free. He's on it again, Wickler. Needs to finish this. Goes for the rainbow. Sorum too wily and too good. And that might just be the point that gets Norway rolling.
Oh, there's usually one point, and that potentially is it. You can see the way Anders Moll is figuring. Yeah, we absolutely needed that one. And there was a lot of dodging wet lettuces in the middle of that. Nobody could find the floor, and it's really unfortunate that Germany weren't able to keep the pressure on, because Sorum finally getting them out of jail, but it was still got skin in the game. Ehlers' left hand just ricocheting through the uprights. Not an easy get for Norway in the slightest.
They love the Vikings here in Vienna. I can tell you there's a few German fans in the stadium as well, but they are delighted with that point and the possibility that Norway are coming back here. Good heavy serve to follow. Germany out of system. Oh, that's good. That's a really good shot from Clemens Wickler.
Really good. He had to wait and he had to keep his eye on Ehlers over his shoulder. Couldn't see the Norwegian defence for a long time until it started to come into his forward vision. But just keeping his hand up there and a really nice controlled snap. Simon, we talked a lot about how much this win will mean to Germany if they can get the win, but for Norway, they haven't had a win in the semi-final for a very long time, or for them, what is a very long time. So getting back into the final in this field and getting on top of the podium, I think they need it as much as Germany do.
Yeah, last semi-final victory at the Beach Pro Tour finals in Doha at the end of last season, where they ended up as runners-up in the tournament. Taking it to Germany in this second set. And Germany are surviving. That was a bit of hit and hope from Wickler.
If you're a Norwegian fan, that's where you start getting excited, because Mo's starting to get a bit more skin in the game. He's starting to get the read. Yes, there was a little cavity there. Wickler got a lot lucky, but riding their luck against Norwegians, not where you want to go, especially when you've never got the win.
Now, this is where Niels Ehlers has to step up and change his focus. And at this point, Denise, I think Ehlers has to be getting serves in, because Wickler's going to get a lot of traffic from here. Norway go hard at it. That is an exquisite serve and an astonishing pass. Oh, he's missed it. He's missed the follow-up. Norway have managed to break Germany's receive at last.
And we knew that Anders had this potential, and we were just waiting for him to get into that zone. A bit like Wickler, kept out of the service receive. So do you know what? Take your arm, go and work the baseline. And with enough pressure, where Ehlers hasn't got, he's got a really high spinny ball, doesn't get the best of deliveries, back to Wickler, and error found.
Fans sensing a change in momentum. And then Mol does that.
A bit second guessing maybe as he threw that up.
Cracking serve from Wickler. Sorum deals with it quite brilliantly and then darts it down to the sand.
It's that ability to dart, isn't it, Simon? Because you know he's going around the block at this point, because he feels that Ehlers is pressing in on him. He sees the line space, but he's not rolling it. There's no trajectory for Wickler to hustle after.
2-point lead clung on to by the Norwegian pair. Oh, there's no joy out of that one. Super high set, and it just allowed Mol to close the window.
And here's Wickler sitting back into that sort of typical system where you pass it with containment, you get the set to come to you. He's maybe looking for a little bit of cover, but again, there are spaces open to him, but he's swinging at Mol. Maybe Mol going a little bit higher than he expected and just getting the adrenaline going. Germany, got to keep thinking. Can't always outswing against Norway.
They've decided on a bit of thinking time. Norway's change of tactic is to go after the defender, Clemens Wickler. And they've done it with some seriously good serving, so Germany now know they're in a game.
I think we've seen Wickler release that second ball option, and he's done that when he's had a clear head. But now the pressure's on him. This is where you kind of gets stuck in a rut. So this is the clear thinking that you have to have coming out the timeout. You give yourself a moment. What's the internal dialogue? What are the things that you prepared? What were you thinking about? Sometimes players will have it written down just as go into the bench, look at their kind of notes, and then go, okay, right, yeah, forgot to do that. Just really straightforward, simple things. So that's what you'd expect from Germany, managing the timeout. They do that very well, usually.
Well, I get into trouble for this all the time, but unless Germany do something special from here, Norway win this match. Wickler's getting everything at the moment. Tight again, trouble again. Oh, well played from the floor and very calmly executed from Anders Moll. That's probably the easiest point he's going to score this week.
I mean, the set's tight. It's a little bit more in Anders' wheelhouse, that's absolutely certain. I mean, it's a great hustle, but you've got to nitpick this rally. It's the fact that Wickler, he went on the back set, created a different line of approach, but Anders adjusted very, very well. And you've got to say, nice set, Clemens, off the floor for me. Thank you very much.
4-point cushion. Beach Volley Vikings have found a way into the game with that tactical switch. Wickler has to respond. And he responds with pure power and ends up dragging his hand down the net to give away another point.
And this is where you go back to, they did all the things right when they were in a good position. It's being able to do all the things right when you're in a pressured position that is this good response that you're looking for.
Not happy with the setting at the moment, Clemens Wickler. It is a little too tight. It's tight again, and that just means the ball can get funneled. And fortunately, Sorum has got the angles sorted now.
Yeah, Anders is doing a really good job now. He's got involved at the net, he's got them scared, and now they're shooting around him, and he's just driving to Sorum, and Sorum's just sitting and waiting.
Germany are done here unless they can find a change-up or unless they can get those serves moving again. Norway have this game under control despite the fact that they're a set down. Superb, just superb from Christian Sorum.
I'm going to throw this out there. If you're Germany, they beat Norway with the on-twos when Wickler was being put under pressure in the first set, and they were free-flowing, the confidence was up, they were bringing everything out that was working for them. It's not working for them now. Do they bring it out now and remind Norway, or do they just try and get Wickler into a reasonable rhythm on the side out, but then bring that on too if they keep going at Wickler? So in the short set they can maybe accelerate it, and just, this is what I'm talking about in terms of preparing for Paris, is keeping certain aspects of your game deep into the set, not reminding people so they're not as ready. So yeah, there's ways to play it. I'm not saying it's the easiest way, but not trying to force it now and not get yourself back into a game that's gone might be a better approach.
Well, Vienna was the home of Sigmund Freud and psychoanalytic theory. We've just gone there briefly with Denise Austin. And it is, we often talk about this in sport. There's a wonderful saying from a very famous golfer, Ben Hogan, about golf is not about the space on the fairway, it's about the 6 inches between your ears. So Germany need to think their way out of trouble here, but it's not just that. You can have a great thought about how to change the process. It's the delivery that ultimately is going to matter. And Norway have clicked into a very nasty gear here, and Germany are struggling. That'll do for starters for Clemens Wickler. They claim the ball back.
But because their game was so centred around their side out, and that's gone. From the service line now, they have to make a defence. So they have to get it into play as well as still going after their serves if they're serious about mounting a comeback. This game, you might just say that some teams will let it go. Just shake it off, keep the physicality, because it is tough out there.
Yeah, we're going to 3, and I'd just like to see Germany banging away for the rest of this set. But we're in a lovely, cool commentary box. The players are down there in a flipping cauldron. It is boiling.
Yeah, and sometimes the comebacks aren't all they're worth putting the energy into. It's hard to walk away from a set. I know it's beach volleyball player. I would never have done that. But is there a time when you've got to say this one is not worth wasting a moment on? And I don't know. You'd have to have a room of beach volleyball coaches and go over a lot of statistics to figure that one out.
We're certainly in the tiebreaker waiting room. Nice shot with pace to the baseline. I like that shot from Ehlers. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, it's really nice. And also, if you're Norway, do you keep going at Wickler and get him back into it so that you haven't got him dismantled, or do you go back to Ehlers and then flip it again? It's an interesting game that's going on towards this tail end, and of how they're going to go against each other at the end of this set, because it definitely feels like it's Norway's.
Just enough on that one, and remember, it's got to be just enough and then a little bit more to beat a diving Ehlers.
And you've got to say, how good is he at getting his feet down and then taking it once he's got on the he's got his feet to the floor. You see so many times people trying to pirouette in the air without getting their feet to the floor first. You can't get that unless you've got down first.
Yeah, you've got to be in touch with the big ball before you can get to the little ball.
Yeah, exactly. Nice swing though there. I like that one from Wickler. We haven't seen him really work Anders in quite the same way when he's been tight. You can see he's snapping off the hand, looking to wipe off to his left side. His follow through was completely big and wild off of those hands, and that's so good because he needs to take that forward.
Better distance, better location on the set as well from Ehlers. Just gave him the chance. Baseline move there, no flag going up. And Ehlers takes the block. Norway lose a point, and Anders is making the point to the referee that was a football.
I've been studying this quite a lot with Ivandro because he moves a whole heap of sand, and sometimes as the service receiver they kick a lot of sand onto the baseline and it looks like you've touched it, but the lines people are really eagle-eyed, Simon. That's all they're stood there. If you look at the lines person now, they're just looking at the line. So yes, there might be sand on it, but did his feet go underneath it?
Still looking at that foot mark. Germany will take this. They will take this. They've managed to just get Norway's focus away from what's going on and talking about something else, and they've snuck in with a couple of quickies.
This is really good from Germany. Definitely not walking away from it, talking utter nonsense earlier on, because now Wickler reading Sorum, picking his pocket when Norway felt like it was theirs.
Well, enough of a disturbance for Norway to call time out, so they are concerned here. And there's the counter psychological bluff, I guess. Norway relaxing, feeling that they were just on their way routinely to a tiebreaker, and then suddenly Germany inject a bit of pace, bit of impetus, and some quick points conceded. And we all love a run, but it's still a 4-point cushion. It's still a 4-point lead. The Vikings don't give those up many times.
It's definitely Norway to lose. We know that. That's absolutely certain. But if you can sort of see in a real-life reflection, commentators going, yeah, they've got this in the bag. Norway would be doing a very sort of thing that, even though they would be trained not to, it's only natural once you see that sort of scoreboard kind of pressure relieved a little bit. So well played, Germany, for just concentrating on 1 point at a time, which is all you can ask for as a coach, as a fan. Just keep that ball flying.
Ehlers probably still holds the key here in terms of making those defensive points. It's another cracking serve from Wickler. Ehlers stays in, and Sorum was a long way off the net there, and maybe, just maybe, a pull.
Oh, highly unlikely that Niels would ever kind of pull in that position, seeing Sorum sustain his runway. However, the set from Mol so far off the net. Norway absolutely dodging that wet sponge.
Serve drifts a long way straight onto the platform of Ehlers, and he now puts one long. So an error from him. This does not bode well for set 3 at the moment for Germany. Neither player are really in a solid side-out run.
Das ist das Spielverständnis von Clemens Wickler. 14-19.
Really good communication as well. Once Ehlers has put that ball up, he's having a good long look, and he's just happy with that delivery from Wickler.
Ehlers it is with the serve. It's not the best set, but it's been converted still. Norway then in command in set 2 and running the show on centre court at the moment.
I'm not sure if command is the way of that one, but definitely riding their luck. And I'm not sure where Mol thought Sorum was going on this set, but what a problem solver at its finest.
And Christian, I can tell you, gave him a bit of a telling off after that. Love it. Here we go then, 6 set points to the team in blue. And the reigning Olympic champions can't put it away first time of asking, so Clemens Wickler is going to get one more go from the service line. Oh, he just keeps going up, doesn't he?
I am liking the last few attacks from Wickler. Really high off the hands, because it's really hard to beat Norway if you let them get involved in the play.
Deep reception from Norway, expecting a big serve, and it's gone straight into the net. That's it then, 21-15. We are level, and we've got a tiebreaker to come in semi-final number 2, with Norway on the front foot at the moment.
Brilliant counter attack from Norway. Did all the things right, played the room, read the situation, flipped the switches at times, made the right defenses, pulled the right moves. So the thinking, as we know from Norway, and that is what makes them so dangerous. I know full well that just watching the toss here, Germany have won it. Norway gets to choose which end. I think they're choosing the end to the right of the top referee.
21-16, great start from Ehlers and Wickler, one of the better sets they've played against the Vikings, but down 21-15 in the second as Mol and Sorum make some subtle adjustments to their tactical approach, and they're back in the match.
Yeah, Germany have always been there or thereabouts. They've never been dismantled by Norway, but they've never just been able to get themselves across the finish line. And this is the enigma of the Norwegians that has perplexed people over and over again, is they feel like they've got them and then they just keep problem solving. And what I like is the little micromanagement that Norway have. It's in between points, it's adjusting what did I do, what are we seeing, and there's so much communication being shared very fast, very effectively. And even now, just having a little moment, setting up their defence, you can see that's the thinking that goes on with Norway.
Well, with the River Danube so close, an appropriate musical welcome as the teams come back onto court for the tiebreaker. It's the shootout to 15 points, and that is a very welcome opener from Clemens Wickler, alongside Niels Ehlers in the white top, winning the first set, but Norway's Anders Mol and Christian Sorum in the blue, taking set 2 to level the match. It's a place in the gold medal final up for grabs, where Brühl and Wozniak of Poland await the winners. And a fizzing serve from Wickler goes long. Big serve coming. Hits it very hard, and nothing Niels Ehlers could do about that. Anders Mol turns it on at exactly the right time.
That was like Anders Mol was breathing in the noise of the crowd, waiting for them to say, yes, go after it, sir. And he just went, okay.
And again, oh, that's thunderous hitting. But that is even better from Clemens Wickler. That was not an easy ball to hit, and he's hit it so hard.
Oh, it certainly was, but he transferred the energy, and that was a really good redirect from Wickler, taking on the cue of the crowd and responding.
2 apiece in this race to 15. Ehlers can't quite deliver the same velocity on the serve, but his block is every bit as good as Anders Moll.
That was a very exquisite bit of movement from the German blocker. The lateral movement, and then just the ball, not going too high, making sure he's as close as he can to that ball and pressing fantastically, and no cover. Christian Sorum just expecting that ball to go down. He's on his knees, but not flying through the air to get the recycle.
Better serve. Side switch on multiples of 5 in this race to 15. So round we go for the first time, and Sorum asked to do the job and does it well for 3-all.
I mean, how he does this on that just high hand, bang on the elbow. It's the darts, no trajectory. It's so fast, under block pressure.
Ehlers v Moll, and Moll gets his revenge instantaneously.
It's kind of like prodding the dragon, isn't it, blocking Anders Moll? And that's where he's just responded in a fantastic way. He's been tackled at the net and he wants it, and he's watching, such a student, and it's the live hands that you're looking for. Look at that, I like that one.
Do you know what? I think Norway have enjoyed this game. I think they're loving this challenge. Oh, brilliant, just brilliant. Is there nothing that this man can do at the net? He's an incredible player.
Brilliant synergy on the Norwegian defence. The picture that Sorum is giving as well before Ehlers goes into the swing is such that he feels it's a big angle. And then, here I am, Anders Moll. Just look at the drop in on the angle.
Brilliant.
It's teamwork though, Simon. That's what I love. It's where Sorum was in defence. It felt wide open, and you've got to remind yourself it's never going to be that open with Anders in front of you.
Nothing that Germany can do other than to use their timeout early here. There's no technical timeout in the third set, so just the one timeout per team, and Germany have decided that that's a serious enough momentum switch with the wall that is Anders Moll to decide to stop it for the moment.
And I think Germany definitely, because they've had to side out more, they've had to play the ball, and we've discussed this in that first set. The only thing that was in Norway's favour when they lost that first set was the lack of times they had to play because of the sort of errors, or if they did play, it was slightly easier. So Ehlers is feeling the heat.
The atmosphere, unreal. It's got him again. That's superb. That is out of this world from Norway.
Anders, they flicked it, went to Clemens. They got a big touch, slowing it down. I mean, this hit from that position, 3 metres off the net. Niels Ehlers has got to feel like he's got to do better, but didn't make the lateral movement. But the courageous swing of Norway, as you would expect. Brutal for Germany at the moment, but they have been thinking hard.
Norwegian fans up for this one. And their team is on the way to the gold medal final because Anders Moll has decided it's Moll time.
It's so hard. It feels like there's a huge space. So potentially you've got to go deep in. You've got to bring out the jumbo against Moll at this position, because look at it's the hands. He's in there. You can't even see it, but you know that he's sensing that he's going to throw his hands at that ball. And the redirect back into court, undefensible by Wickler.
Partner Sorum just watching the Moll show at the moment. Oh my goodness me. Oh, that is insane.
How he decides and what he's seeing, I wish you could read his brain patterns going on right now. And Wickler and Ehlers doing so hard to try and not go into his wheelhouse, but they can't keep it away. But they haven't shot, Simon. They haven't cut it. They haven't jumboed. They haven't thrown everything at it, and they keep throwing the same thing, and it's not working. You've got to do something different.
serious pain being dished out at the moment by Norway to this German team. Right, is he going to shoot? Sorum's in the game here, surely. There we go. Oh, superb from Wickler. But of course, it goes straight into that window of Mol.
Oh, the defensive framework of Christian Sorum. We've had a lot of discussions about how he's been under so much pressure. He has to work so hard on his side-out game, but the touch here was sublime, an absolute magic carpet bit of defence from Christian Sorum, picking that up with extreme left hand, and it was only a matter of time before Norway put it away. Valiant effort from Wickler, but great set for Norway.
I love the DJ after that point. He's bouncing up and down in the background, loving this game as much as the fans. Norway turning it on. Tight again, and flown out of play from Wickler. The wheels have properly come off, but they've been removed. It's a smash and grab from Norway.
Germany did well by staying so strong, and I think that they've got a commitment to it, but I'd like to see them just throw other stuff at it in this last stages of it. They have been able to turn it around before. I'd like to see the pushback in some shape or form.
At last, Germany score a point, but not before some serious damage has been done on the scoreboard.
Nicely done by Wickler. Something different. And do you know what I love? A big smile from his partner after he's put the floor 10-4 down. Come on, buddy, we can do this.
Well, they've just got to go for it now. There's nothing else left to them. And round we go. 11-4. Norway have played quite brilliantly in this comeback.
And that is the enigma, being able to get those jump serves in under without the pressure, which you saw from Wickler at the end of the first set. But now the pressure's on, they've made the mistakes, they've gone deep, and they haven't been able to find those kind of things. And that's the enigma, the mindset of winning and losing and keeping it just the same.
Well, Poland and Norway have been really good at this tournament. It will be those two countries to contest the final here in Vienna. And it's not a case of if, it's a case of when, and that could be pretty soon.
I think Bartosz Wojciech sprinkled his little magic fairy dust on the court for Anders Mol, because he wanted to play him, and I think Poland are definitely going to get their wish.
Well, you've got to feel for Germany, you really do, because they played so well in set one, but they've still got another medal to go for here today, so they won't be too concerned.
Yeah, they've been one of the most consistent teams on the Beach Pro Tour. Their top 5 finishes consecutively, finally making that break into that silver medal. A testament to how hard they have been working. It's not today, maybe with a little bit of breathing space. 1 point at a time, maybe get to double figures, maybe call the timeout from Norway. Those scripts we have seen before. Germany, can they do it in this situation with this much pressure? Once they've let it go, anything might happen.
Well, it's in, say Lions judge and referee, and Anders Mol, for the first time in the match, invites our first referee down from the stand to jog over and look at the ball mark, because it's a ball mark that he thinks is wide.
I think that's a technical challenge there, or a timeout challenge. Pretty close. I don't think it's going to Norway.
It is in. It's gone the way of Germany. Can Ehlers find another one here? Brilliant from Wickler, but just too much heat on it to keep it inside the playing area, and Norway are romping it in the tiebreaker.
This is just exactly what we wanted to see from Norway. Sweden aren't here, so now Norway have got the target on the back. They've responded as the fans would have loved. They'd love to see them being pushed. They fought really hard. They've had some challenges thrown at them, and they've responded beautifully.
2 points away from a place in the gold medal final for the team in blue. Germany going to try and keep them out there as long as possible. And I know it sounds negative when we say the game's over, Norway have got it, but it's important to set the scene, because if there's a comeback from here, it'll be one of the best we've ever seen. Doesn't feel like it's going to happen. Match points arrive for this Norwegian team. They've been very, very impressive since the moment they flicked the switch in set 2. They've looked unstoppable. Mol just double checking the call. And Bartosz Wasiak is going to get his wish, as Denise Austin said. It'll be Poland-Norway in the gold medal final. Ehlers has hit so many good shots like this in the match, but just not enough, and not been allowed to hit them in this second and third set.
Beautiful last swing potentially for Germany. One more point, might get a timeout potentially.
Got to go for it. Does so. Passed easily by Sorum. Option swing is delightful. And Norway put the lid on this semi-final in style. 15-9. They beat Germany in 3 big sets. And they are through to contest gold here in Vienna. And that look from Christian Sorum tells you all you